All right, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good evening to some of you. Today is February 12th. It is 4 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Pacific, a little bit after than that. Today, we are obviously starting a brand new week on a strong point because you see my face for some reason on stream. After we just finished a really strong week with League of Legends to close out the week, because that's how people want to close out weeks, apparently. We start off with somehow my face. So we're stumbling out of the gate this week, as you see. Apparently, True and Crackshot took on apparently Kane and the Undertaker in a tag team match over at LAN ETS. Broken necks and just like all sorts of physical ailments came back. Like they got the title belts though. But today they're out. Joining me is Mahone to my right. How's it going, man?
Awesome.
Awesome. What is going on today up in BC? I didn't know there's a holiday going on.
Yeah, it's called Family Day in BC, and I think for the rest of Canada, it's next week. So I don't know. It's kind of weird,
Family
but
Day.
it's a holiday.
That is
Yeah.
dope. That is dope. That is dope and wholesome. Like we don't have that. Like in America, it's like, what are your holidays about? Well, struggle, trial, and tribulation. Like Independence Day because we had a war. Canada's just like Family Day. Like everybody
Yeah.
love each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it was
so
introduced like I think not even that long ago, maybe within 5 years. So hasn't been that long that this has been around.
that's awesome, though. I'm already envious. Someday I'm gonna make my way up to Canada and like make a permanent residence. Like I need more of a wholesome place after endless games of Dota 2. I need to find a wholesome place in my life. But today we have a fun little 4 p.m. Pacific match. We have Northern Kentucky taking on North Texas, aka UNT. If you guys are more familiar with the mean green right there. We are technically in week 13, but obviously these teams have not been able to hit all of their matches just yet. They've either played 3 or only a couple of them. Scheduling conflicts, issues as usual for the spring side of things. So some of these matches will be made up. Some of them are versus forfeited teams. So, but at the current moment, Northern Kentucky sitting in the 5th spot, where you really don't want to find yourself, even though they do have enough of the season left where they can make up some of that ground. Meanwhile, North Texas at 1-1, sitting in 2nd position, right behind a team I think I know called by the name of British Columbia. I think right.
Yes, that was correct.
Great. Yeah. So it's a pretty one team top heavy conference at this point in time that you guys are playing in. Are you familiar with either of these teams? As you guys have actually played, I think against both of them too here in the first half, or I guess the second half of the season.
Yeah. I didn't watch the Northern Kentucky game that UBC played against them, but I watched the Mean Green one, right? And there's a guy on that team. He's like the North Texas version of like Tristan. He like just runs around and just like doesn't throw any grenades, just tries to aim map everybody. So, but I think he's one of the people to watch out for on that team. But in either case, like UBC didn't have any issues playing against both of them, so I don't know. It could be a close match here. But
Yeah.
I would say North Texas has the edge in general, though.
Yeah, I would say they're a little bit more favored. I'm familiar with the coordinator too as well. She runs a pretty tight ship down there, and as well, I think North Texas, as a esports program, is beginning to grow. They kind of mimic the UCI building structure. They got themselves a little bit of an arena over there going on. They're trying to formalize everything, and so really interesting time in Texas. We're a state that should be probably actually one of the states that could excel very quickly in esports, just with the infrastructure, the money that they have down there to utilize to create these programs. But already lots of talent there. Just between you have University of Texas, University of Texas at Dallas. University of Texas at Austin. You have Texas A&M, Texas Tech. You have all these teams that are competing. Arlington, it comes to mind, and so really a state that should be full of talent. Houston as well. Just like teams keep coming up in my mind right now that generally
Yep.
perform, play pretty well, or get usually some long seasons out of the CSL. So
That's true.
interesting. Yeah.
That's true, because I was also about to bring up that the CS:GO, like the first half where you had all those Texas teams together, right? That was probably the most like mixed result region you could ever see, because like everyone was just beating everybody, right? And it was just like you couldn't even tell who was going to win. You didn't know there could be an upset like for any of those matches. So definitely true what you're saying.
And it was interesting because you look at North Texas's like fall results right now, and UT Dallas, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, and Houston all wins. But then on the opposite side, you have UT Arlington, Tennessee, and UT Austin as losses. So it's kind of that whole cannibalizing concept. It just like almost makes no sense. Like how did that happen? You really traded off about as even as you possibly could within a balance of good and bad teams within that group. So far, the only spring wins for UNT right now are Avert. And the only loss is obviously UBC. We swap over to Northern Kentucky's side of things. They have wins in the fall over Dakota State and Trine, and I think they somehow managed to take a knockout bonus on Trine, like 16-1, and Trine was just like, all right, we're done this season. We're out. like we're not having it. Like, yeah, this is not a good start to the season. So at least there's a little bit of a bonus there for Northern Kentucky. And they lost though to Southern Illinois, RMU, which is pretty obvious. Kentucky, Illinois as well. They had a 6-team schedule in the fall side, and then their only spring win is versus Avert here in the spring side, and then losses to BC and Georgia Tech too as well. So Georgia Tech, another generally pretty good team, I would say, in this group as well, that should probably be doing better at the moment. Probably should be eventually at the end of the day, maybe the second place finisher in this group, you would say?
I'd say third, because Montreal is still in this group as well. I expect Montreal to be second.
Is Montreal really in this group?
Yeah. They just haven't really played that many of their matches.
Going to Conference 9 right now. Oh, I'll be damned. They are. Holy shit. Wow. Yeah, so this is actually a nice little loaded little baby group. So, yeah, Montreal, Georgia Tech, UBC, and then somehow North Texas and Northern Kentucky are trying to figure out where they kind of fit in within this group. It should be interesting to watch. How has your CSGO weekend been? What have you been up to? Any training? Any interesting matches? Any UBC stories that you could tell us?
I actually streamed the UBC versus Georgia Tech game on Saturday, and we actually were playing with the sub. So I was already expecting, like, not to be mean or anything, but I was already expecting the score to be like 16-5 for UBC over Georgia Tech. But then because they had a sub, it ended up being like 16-7 or something like that, right? But the thing about that Georgia Tech team though is, like, I know a couple of them, but it just seems like their talent is just so top heavy. Like, as in they have like 1 or 2 players that are like way better than the other 2. So it kind of just ended up being like a little bit one-sided, which is, it's generally the case for all these collegiate teams where, especially like the mid-tier teams, where it's like they have like 1 or 2 people who are really good, but then everyone else just isn't quite as good. Like, they don't have the same amount of experience or skill. So, yeah.
So what would you suggest for a team like Georgia Tech to need to improve? Do they need to like clone like 5 Tristans and like hope to God have a leader as Mahone like for their team, or what would you say where do they need to improve like overall?
I think for them, like, it seemed like they had it seemed like they played together a little bit, right? It's just that the skill and the experience just weren't there, right? And I don't know exactly how much they actually practice together, but obviously if you put time together as a team, it lets you get over some of those teams that just have better individual skill but don't practice, right? It gives you a slight edge. So I would say if you're a team that has less individual skill, you have to put in more time as a team, because that's one of the only ways you can have an advantage over these teams that are just like are individually better than you.
And it's an interesting thing because we did talk about it back in the quad a couple weeks ago, where you see like somebody like even see you talking about it, like they try to find as much time as they possibly can to practice with each other, and that's really a lot of their advantage outside of just having individual talent on the team. And so hopefully, again, as we get bigger and as we grow, we will be able to see some of these teams maybe with individual talents begin to improve and be able to have time to build cohesion and chemistry within the team. I feel like I'm getting bamboozled by Northern Kentucky and UNT right here. Why is there 9 out of 5 still? Or there we go, 10 out of 10. I just had to complain about it. I just had to. Sorry, there we go. Sorry, I took over the overlay there for a sec. Yeah, I just had to complain about it for a sec. Looks like they finally got all their players loaded in. We'll be going into game, guys, in just 1 second for those who've been patiently waiting. Hopefully you guys are also healthy as well. Like, there's just been like an enormous plague that's like hit the whole entire world pretty much, at least in North America. I feel like I'm still kind of getting over what I had. I know True, he's been battling forever. Zach's been battling with his shit forever. And so have you been the only one that's been like generally just like healthy, or did you have some?
No, actually the other day I had a pretty massive headache, so I'm not free either. It was only for 1 day though, so thankfully. Not like True, where he's been battling for, I don't know, who knows how long. It's a war out there.
5 months. He's in the bunker just like, just coughing away. Yeah, it's a tough battle for sure. Hopefully, what I'll have to ask the team is what they've got going on right now. PC's finished. Wait, hold on. What did somebody just like build a PC today? Was where he has audio glitching out. Okay, PC's finished. Just starting. He's loading C1. Okay, apparently they're just reloading, and then they should be readying up here in just a sec. Yeah, so interesting that we only have really 2 weeks remaining of games. We have week 13, we have week 14. We'll obviously tack on a rescheduled week of broadcasts as well for you guys to see. I'll pull up the schedule here just in a second to give you guys a little bit of an outlook on what matches we're looking to bring up to you guys here in the next couple weeks here. And later tonight we'll obviously have Virginia Commonwealth versus New York. This coming Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, Alabama versus Wisconsin. We still have a match that we're trying to confirm for the 7 p.m. on that day as well. I'm kind of hoping for RMU versus Rutgers. That might be cool if we might get a chance to see them. Next week, though, on next Monday, we've got Colorado versus Toronto. At 7 o'clock, we'll have LSU versus Carleton. That will be as well. That will be a live match. And then there's some kind of question marks, but we got Michigan State versus Robert Morris potentially, Minnesota versus VCU, Northern Kentucky might make it back versus Montreal, West Virginia versus UT Austin, North Texas versus Georgia Tech, and then to finish everything off, Houston versus San Jose State. So not a bad lineup coming into the closing side, because we got, I think a lot of teams really want to see what RMU's been packing right now this spring half, see what Montreal's up to. You have teams as well that would be contending UT Austin, San Jose State. I mean, there's a lot of interesting teams. That Colorado versus Toronto match might be the best one out of them all too as well.
Yeah. Looks like we're in knife round here, so.
Oh, thank God! I was like completely tabbed out. Thank you CS:GO gods for saving us. All right, guys. Greetings and welcome in. We're in the knife round of Northern Kentucky versus North Texas. Week 13 between these two schools, and a bloodbath up mid as we see. Looks like the Mean Green come out alive. That was pretty fast. I didn't even get a chance to swap out and see who knifed who there. They're going to be taking CT side. What is your opinion on this map? Obviously, everybody, whoever's got fresh memory of Inferno, they probably remember the FaZe and C9 match where they got played.
Yep.
What's your kind of just like general outlook on a map like this?
On the T side, for you to succeed, you have to have banana control and apartments control, and if you can get bracket control as well, it makes your life so much easier. So, a lot of teams though, like a lot of teams nowadays though, like they don't mind not having banana control and just taking bracket and halls control and just kind of doing like a kind of a split with a good exec, right? On the side of the CTs, definitely banana control, and you want to hold bracket control as much as you can until you let the Ts have it, because there will be a point in time where if the Ts have all of banana and all of bracket, you have to make an information play somewhere. So I'd say that this map is a lot more T side than it was before. Like before, it used to be so CT side, where it was like even if they had bracket, banana, apartments control, it was still hard to break it into the sites. But now it's a little bit different, right? So that's pretty much the keys for both Ts and the CTs here.
All right, guys, we're about off into round number 1. Looks like everybody's readied up. A quick little reset. And UNT is going to be starting off on CT. Northern Kentucky, meanwhile, hanging out on the T side as well. What is one of your favorite go-tos, just generally to start off a round on pistol on T side? Do you want to go up banana and just try to force it down, or do you want to go up something like this where they might be looking at second middle?
The thing is that, yeah, banana and rush will generally work, but the meta right now is that 3 CTs usually play B, so probably like a Halls or Porch hit is probably the more preferable here, which is what it looks like they're doing.
Yeah, it looks like Bent Nerds ended up hearing what's going on. They nicely smoked off Green rocking over here, and it's really going to be on Bent Nerds to try to hold it off. Might be able to get one right here, and he couldn't get off the porch. I feel bad for him. Did end up getting a headshot, though, on Warpin right here, and now here comes the defense wrapping around. Let's see if they're going to be able to get some damage done. Already taken 2 right there. Hoax and Radical falling down. We got one-on-one on each side of the site, and can he do it?
Ooh.
He does. Wow, 2 of them actually come out alive on that. Rocket and Rage.
Yeah, that was actually much closer than it should have been, because the thing is, I forget who that player was in sight, but he was having such a tough time killing that guy coming out of balcony.
he turns around, taking shots, crouches, like gives him like the little no wiggle, like quit shooting me. Just that was rough for sure.
Yeah.
I think it was Warping. Yeah, it was Warping. Sorry.
Yeah. It was even surprising that he was even able to get a kill like on the guy who was coming into sight, because that should have been a free kill for him, especially after he missed all those shots. But regardless, it's gonna be the first round for North Texas.
Yeah, and at the moment, it looks like they're just going to eco force themselves down in second mid again. Not sure if they should rush this through because now they're going to be dealing with some semi-autos. And Rockin is looking pretty closely right now. He also has his friend Bent Nerds on site. He's going to be the first one to see everybody up the window right here. And already taking 1 down, 2 down, 3, 4, almost gets 4. And Archimage eventually ends the run right here. All that's remaining is Jay Linney here under the porch side and falls down. Quick little cleanup, a couple kills, but still, nice job right there by Get Ben just sitting there.
Yeah, it was really important there that North Texas was actually able to deny that bomb plant because that was pretty much their goal that round. They all had Glocks, they didn't have anything really invested, so getting that second bomb plant would have allowed them to have, maybe an AWP this round. So really good job by North Texas to deny that bomb plant as well.
A little bit more of a balanced out buy by everybody at the moment. Actually, a pretty heavy force by Northern Kentucky right here. Alden went up for AKs, naded up. Now they're looking at Banana at the moment. They've got Divine and the whole entire CT team right here, right backing them up with iRage and Fader. And they are holding them up really nicely right there. Naded everything off. Was that almost team fire?
I don't know. I just saw Rockin kill Hoax through middle now, but it's now a 5v3. And Northern Kentucky, they just need to group up and be able to find a hole somewhere, this defense.
Yeah, tough position to be in right here as they're backed up basically into their own spawn for the most part, and they got 2 players split off. They got to be really careful as Rockin right there is a peek in the corner with Fader. Meanwhile, Archimage are trying to figure out their way through. It looks like they're going to try to force it a mid, and Rockin's just right here waiting for them, though. Isn't able to shoot all the way through the smoke. Is a bit flashed up. He's got Fader, though, and as well Get Bent here up on the porch. Just waiting. He does spot him. Trade over up in mid with Divine taking 2, and that's just Radical remaining down here, and eventually Get Bent Nerds cleans things up at 3-0, and that was a force buy, too, by Northern Kentucky. They're going to be broke for a little while longer.
Yeah, they'll just have to save this round. They should be able to buy it the next one after. But yeah, because they were able to get that bomb plant in the first round, able to AK up in the third round. But in that round there, that actually came down to that kill at Banana where Divine found the player in the small little pit. Because I actually think that if Northern Kentucky was able to find that kill in the Divine, that would have been a completely different round that Northern Kentucky could have came back into. But looks like it's just going to be CZs, a couple of P250s here.
Divine creeping up through mid. Takes 1 down. He's going to find himself a second kill right here with the help of Rockin. And now we see some of the T's split up in between a nice little CT sandwich right here. CZ takes down Rockin. Jay Linney with the kill. Behind him, he's got Divine available. Divine not able to get the shot down. Just a down pat. Smoke up in mid, though. This could have opened up maybe something for the T's. Could it?
Yeah, potentially. But Divine's just going to shut down the bomb carrier there. And it's going to get taken down by Jay Linney. And like I said about Todd being like the next type of Tristan, he just pushes on eco rounds and stuff like that. But 2v2, this is actually doable here. If the T's can group up and maybe find this player in apartments, but I think Get Benders is in a really good spot here.
Oh, he spots the head. Gets the planter. Warpin's the only remaining player, 1-on-2, and he's stuck in a really tough position. He might be able to peek and see where the other player's at. Here's the gunshot, so he knows he's over to sight. He knows he's got one on window. Which one does he decide to peek and look at first? Good Molly's going to force him out of the corner right there, and nice play by Get Bent right there. That was really nice.
Yeah, Get Bent being in those apartments just pretty much shut down any potential of that round going wrong. And, if he died there, then I think Northern Kentucky would have won. But
is it porch or balcony right there that I was calling, actually?
Most people refer to balcony as like the one at the exit of apartments, and then porch is like the one where after you come out middle and go to the right side.
Gotcha. I was mixing those up. I apologize. I know there's going to be some hardcore CS viewers that are probably just like, "What'd you say? What'd you say about my site call out?"
But something to note here is North Texas. They're always playing 3B here. They're pretty much set up for that banana rush if it ever comes. So Northern Kentucky, they should really focus more on getting mid control here.
And they can work with it a bit. You see that Rockin right now and Get Ben are pretty much all the way back. Balcony for Get Bent, and then you just see over here peeking in the corner in the mid from Rockin'. And so they're trying to force their way and crawl their way up to B side. They're getting really close to Divine on this side. I don't know if Radical sees him. He's hoping to see a gun barrel. It's always kind of the thing. You can kind of see out of the corner a little bit sometimes a gun barrel if it's especially like an op or anything like that. But trade out 1 for 1, and they're looking to enter on the B side. Fader might be the next person that sees them. iRage as well, taking a nice little angle is here as well with the op. Not that typical. What's the position where they jump on
Spools.
top of the spools? Yeah,
Coffins.
Oh, like coffins. Yeah,
spools.
yeah. I don't know what they want to call them now. So
Yeah. But it looks like
they
Northern
back up.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Northern Kentucky, they're making a good rotation here. Like look at where all the North Texas players are. They're all rotated towards B. If they can kill this pit player, they'll have the A site for free here. Again, Bet Nerds, he's just too good at this pit position. Finds the first one. Might be able to find the second here on the Jay Lenny. He does.
Down.
And might be able to get the third one. This guy's like God. This guy's like the
Oh my God! I'm a
This
4-piece.
This guy must have been watching some demos from C9, just watching Rush play the pit position or something, because that was beautiful.
That was incredibly gorgeous. Wow. Another 4K for Get Bent after his earlier 3K defense that we saw, already up to 11 kills this game through 5 single rounds. I mean, this is really impressive. And if you're Northern Kentucky, you have not found an answer on either side. They haven't really tried to force a rush down B just yet, so maybe this is the round they're going to try it. And indeed they will. Oh, gets lit, but not able to kill him off. A little bit of a Congo line of nerds trying to come down B right there, trying to block each other off. Vader's going to really have to help out here with the defense. Gets 1, gets 2, lights another one up, loads up the CZ, and trades out 3. And here comes iRage with the D and the P250. Cleans everything up.
Yeah, I actually thought that might have went a little bit more of Northern Kentucky's way, because that was probably the first round Northern Texas actually played only 2B. So they had a chance of making something happen, but just didn't work out. And like their default gun round set was with 3B and Get Bent Nerds at pit and the other player towards middle. Maybe that's just their normal setup, just because like Get Bent Nerds is just so good at that pit position.
Yeah, I mean, this is really impressive. I would imagine having that much confidence in just Get Bent alone would allow them to stack more on the other side. Oh, lights him up through the wall right there. Jay Lindy taking some damage. And they're looking to control mid this time around and maybe an attempt at A. But yeah, Rockin' right here just waiting for them if they creep back up over to Arches.
Yeah, and Northern Kentucky, they have bracket control right now, so this is good. And they still have a minute 20, so I don't think they need to rush anything yet. They should just hold this control and just wait for aggression from the CTs.
Oh, iRage catches a rotating through the arch right there. That's going to back everybody up. Might have an opening to kill somebody else, but no, they're going to go back the other way. And greetings to Divine from the rest of the team. Get Bent still holding it down really well. Another 2 down on his side. He's going to look at window for Warpin. Can he get him? Almost gets the headshot. Tries to get another one. He's so close. Can Warpin do anything about it? Might eat up a little bit of a nade that forces him back, but across middle, Hoax gets himself some iRage as well. 3 on 2 remaining. Warpin and Hoax are in a tough position, down to 8 HP, and now he's by himself. Goes down. Another clean defense. Rockin', Fader helping out Get Bent. Another great A defense. I would avoid A if I were them at this point. Like, until they come up with a better execution of it, they seem like they throw out a lot of smokes, block off a lot of areas, but then don't move and take advantage of it. They take a lot of time to get developed. I think B might be the better option for them at this point, if that's how they're going to slowly work their way up.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Get Bent is just doing such a good job in that pit site position.
Look at Divine. He's creeping up.
He wants
he's
those
going to give himself 2.
He got the first one, and he's looking to get the banana flank, but he's going to get taken down with Archmage. And man, the more I watch this guy play, he honestly is like a Tristan. Just pushes on any round he can. Vader's going to get taken down by Jay Lindy, though, so this is B-side a little bit open. They're going to smoke spawn here, as they might be able to get a bomb plant here, but look at the HP of the T's.
Yeah, Rage rotating through over to Spools, not able to get anything, but he's got teammates coming over Rockin'. Not a lot of HP, as you mentioned, remaining on the players. We'll have to play a little bit careful, but because there's AKs versus 2 ops, but already 1 goes down, trades out. Remaining player, Jay Linny, can he hold it down with only 17 HP?
Oh.
No, he can't. Good shot by Get Bent, helping out now over on the B side of things.
Yeah. And I think Jay Linney actually had a decent shot away in that round if he picked up that op after he killed that player towards the construction. Just because he had such low HP, he kind of has to even it up a little bit by just, getting the gun to just one-shots people. So that was probably the first round.
Sorry. Did you hear yourself there a little bit? Sorry,
Yeah, I did.
Sorry, I had a little trying to get rid of Twitch notifications on my phone and ended up clicking on our stream right there. Start hearing yourself there. Man, a little bit of an echo.
Either way,
8-0.
8-0.
Hot start.
Yeah.
Hot start for UNT.
Yeah, and it looks like this defense just proving its power here as Get Bender. I feel like he can, like, his presence alone at A has just been causing so much issues for Northern Kentucky right now. But Divine, man, this guy just does not stop pushing. Like,
Well, it's interesting. They're just like, God, he's got to be everywhere. Every time we try to go somewhere, there he is, just either pushing up their mid or catching them right out in windows this time around. And tough position once again for Northern Kentucky as with bomb down, they pick it back up. They really got to make some moves. They got 2 over in mid, 2 coming up through apartments. But they're positioned already really well to defend every single part of this map. Get Ben just waiting for them and inviting them to come back up through here. Yeah, are they trying to time it out right now? Trying to do like a 30-second rush?
I don't know. Generally, you can only do that if you actually have some map control. But Jay Laney gonna get taken down bracket here, as Warpin not able to get the trade though, and Get Bender is taking down the Archmage, and this is looking rough once again. Like Warpin and Radical left in a 2v4, and they only have a set of nades on Radical at this point.
And bomb down as well at the current moment, so they're gonna have to make some moves. I don't know. Would you encourage them to save at this point? They don't have a lot of money remaining on them. They might be better off if they could at least save the AK and the scout to go into the next round.
Well, the thing is that their loss bonus is so high already at this point that I don't think it really matters. Like they can just go for it, and they'll still get a decent amount of money for next round. But it looks like they're going to make their way into the B site with 10 seconds left. And actually, if Fader gets taken down here, but iRage going to shoot him through the smoke, and Fader going to take down Radical, so clean round. But I think at this point, like Northern Kentucky, they just need an actual plan, maybe to go somewhere together. I would say maybe up the arch side and wrap to B afterwards at this point, just because for a fact that Get Benders is just playing around that porch, balcony, pit area, and generally there's going to be max 1 to 2 guys at the arch area, which aren't as on fire right now. But Divine, once again, he's pushing up. He really wants these kills. He's just going to get taken down. And that's going to be a man advantage for Northern Kentucky, probably the first time here.
Yeah, nice little change of pace for them. They have a little bit more mid control at the moment with more players, but still, you got Rock and you got Get Bent sitting across. Taking a look at both sides of A side right here defending, and Get Bent's going to be the first one. We'll introduce an AK to the dome of Archimage right there. More players in apartments. Another headshot to Holmes. Really accurate shooting right here out of Get Bent. iRage helping him out on the A side for the person that was down there. 2 more coming through apartments. Almost sprays a 4th one down, but at least gets Warpin. Remaining player Radical, and he gets taken down by iRage. 5 kills between the 2 players here as they take another round. Where again, things I would like to see from Northern Kentucky. I want to see them try to work B more. It seems like they have a little bit more viability and based off of what they've done so far, even though they haven't taken a round. They seem like they're able to wiggle their way into B a little bit more. Every time they start messing around with mid apartments, they're really getting kind of blended in by either Divine being off guard or just iRage and Get Bent cleaning up the rest of the side over there. And it looks like they finally want to try to take a little bit of a shot at B, which I think is smart. Even though there's 3 there, they've definitely had a lot more success throughout the game accessing it.
Yeah, this is one of those weird situations where you actually go for the less favored site, the one that has 3 players as opposed to the one that has, only 2. And I just want to point out here, Get Bentner, it's 244 ADR in the first 10 rounds. That's insane.
Kid is balling out almost with it'd be like he's shooting like 7 for 7 from 3-point line. Just like,
that's the same thing. Yeah.
For that one NBA follower that we got tuning into our CSGO broadcast, had to get that reference in. Nice cleaning up from Divine over the top, distracting them, kind of putting them through the blender. Fader's going to be the one on site to defend him, gets a headshot on Radical. Remaining player once again is Warpin, one of the last few, but he gets taken out by Fader as well. I mean, this is just some clean play out of North Texas. The way they're rotating, the way they're helping each other. Obviously, I want to say the executes are maybe not as clean as you would see some of the top teams attempt to do, or maybe they don't have enough confidence in the entry fragging that they currently have. But in regards to defense, this is really nice stuff from UNT.
Yeah, the biggest thing is that like generally when you send 3 CTs towards Banana, you're intending on taking it, right? But Northern Texas, you just have all 3 players in the site. So when Northern Kentucky actually tries to take it, it's like so difficult to take any B site where there's like 3 people in it. But it looks like Radical again take down iRage, and Rockin', he wants to pull his best impression of Divine, and he's actually getting taken down. Entries all over the place, but Get Bender is finding a 2K, so giving them a foothold in this round.
Yeah, Archimage doing a good job of opening up right here. He sees Divine hop across. At the current moment, he'll have some support from Get Bent coming through the backside of Banana. But it will be a one-on-one. Oh, can he keep it alive? Oh, he sprays through everything, gets it going. And now Get Bent tries to do something here, and it's a one-on-one remaining as he trades out Divine. And wow, 1 round for Northern Kentucky. They finally did it. They broke the seal. Hoax. Hey, they got into B, they enteried out, they executed pretty much as well as they possibly could. It had defense on the backside, kind of got Get Bent nerds down into low HP territory. So that was really that was much better executed than we've seen in the past however many rounds. So props to Northern Kentucky.
Yeah, the thing is here, I think Northern Texas is getting a little bit sloppy. Like they're starting to just like disrespect push, and that's what they tried to do that round there. But Northern Kentucky, they're showing that they can at least punish that. As it looks like there's going to be a B take here, but Iron Mage is going to take down the first.
Like shit, they moved the op there. Well, now they got a nice little blender setting up at B right by sandbags with Divine, and looks like the other teammates with iRage dropping back into the back of site. Not bad. Divine takes 2. Or sorry, iRage now takes 2. Divine takes out another one as well, removing the numbers of NKU down to 2. They're going back over towards A site where they'll have Rockin' and Get Bent checking them out here in just a sec, but most likely.
Pop flash mid, but they're just going to peek right before it and Get Bentners. Like, the confidence on North Texas is just overwhelming at this point.
I mean, personally, I'm really impressed by Get Bent. I mean, he's just phenomenal. And when you look at his shooting, you look at his spray, very controlled, very patient, not very jiggly, just very well controlled and confident with what they're playing. Exactly like you mentioned. This is fun. if you're on the winning side, this is fun.
I mean, I think if you're a Get Bentner, it's like right now, there's just no wrong decision you can make. You're just making all the right moves, hitting all the shots. So Northern Kentucky here going to be on pistols here, as it's 12-1, and Rockin' just going to take down one. As now, not much that can really happen. And Divine, once again, he's just he just wants to get these kills. Like,
Jay Liddy misses. Divine dropping down. They'll be able to sandwich him here in a second, but he goes down into a tunnel over there, and we'll see if he's gonna get backstabbed. He will. Oh, he does. Somebody's shooting me in my butt. Get Bent's the only one remaining on A at the moment. He'll be taking a look at second middle. Finds himself Hoax. Bomb down. 2 more T's are in the area. And Jay Lenny's going to be the first one he might be able to spot. Oh, he knows there's one down there. He's keeping an eye on him. But he's also got somebody on his back coming up right now. And that's going to be Warping through apartments. Can he get him? Can he get him with the Deagle close range?
Oh
no, he cannot. He's too good, man. He's too good right now.
I think if Get Bentner continues on this path, I think this might be the first game that we see somebody get like over 200 ADR in a game. I know there's been some people that have been close with 190, but I think at this rate he might actually break the 200.
Yeah, for the sake of records, Northern Kentucky, just keep heading A. Just keep going A. Let's see what happens. either you guys might get your heads ripped off, or you guys might be part of a record. Why not? But yeah, it looks like they're still looking to check out alt potentially down second mid here. They did stack 3 players. They brought Divine back over to B. iRage is back over to, Divine over to A. iRage back over to B right now with that op. And you can see Northern Kentucky playing really patient as they're beginning to run out of rounds to make any moves happen in this game. Yeah,
they're just waiting for North Texas to just push them, essentially. Like, they're just waiting for them to make a mistake, just because they've been doing it so much this game so far. And Divine, he's going to be the first one to make contact as Get Bentner. And he's hungry, man. He's a shark, just waiting for his prey here.
Somebody's feeding him in the delayed broadcast. They're like, you could set a record. He's like, what? He just starts running up middle. Divine's like, where you go? Where are you going? Where are you going right now? That's my role. I'm supposed to be the one that frags out. All right, they're heading over to B right now at the moment. Archimage gets put through a little bit of a blender right there, but does trade out really nicely. Warpin gets his back. Meanwhile, Warpin manages to almost hop his way up on the site. Tries to CZ and semi his way under smoke by Spools, but here comes the rest of the team. Now only 2 remaining players. 2v or 1v2? Hoax, can he do this?
Maybe, but get Bender. He's not going to take it, though. And Hoax coming in with the 2 rounds, coming in clutch. As it's going to make it 13-2. And this is, maybe Northern Kentucky has a really good CT side, but I think this is going to be really rough here.
Well, I think, again, most of it's going to come down to this first pistol round. If the Mean Green can get in there, I think they're going to be able to kind of force their way through the next couple rounds, setting up a match point for themselves pretty easily. But we'll see here. I mean, Northern Kentucky, we've seen dumb things in the CSL before, just complete flips and turnarounds in series. So I think it was last week, who did we cast? Was that UMass versus UCLA, where UCLA, I think, was up like 12-3 at half or something like that, and then just all of a sudden UMass came rolling back. They ended up losing 12-16, but it was a pretty valiant run they put in. So it's not it's not out of the question here. So, but here we go. Second half underway. Mean Green over on T side. Northern Kentucky taking on the CT role. Defense, offense. Let's get it on. Fader heading over towards mid, the rest heading over towards alt. Interesting, both teams deciding to do it on their pistol rounds.
Yeah. As looks like there's not going to be any utility for the T, so it's just going to be a straight up run and gun. Get Bentner's getting taken down by Jay Linney. And, if you want to break that record, you can't just die like that. But looks like the rest of Northern Kentucky, they're holding strong right now.
Jay Linney gets another one right here, and only a couple players remaining right now on the T side, having a hard time, but eventually are able to make it on site. Just going to worry about getting the bomb plant at this point, and the rest can come if they're able to get it. CT's trying to use range, waiting for the rotate of Hoax at the current moment, and ooh, nice shot from Warpin, taking out Divine. Only remaining players rocking, and I didn't even get a chance to see that Jay Linney shot right there. That was fast.
Yeah, and funny here, but Hoax actually didn't even buy any armor that round, so, and I'm not, yeah. Hoax didn't even buy any armor that round, so maybe he was trying to save for, I don't know, second round loss maybe, but either way, they pick up the pistol, and that's exactly the start they needed. The question is, Mean Green, do they actually want to just force here?
Well, I mean, they have, if they're looking to experiment, I mean, again, you're up 13-3. Talk about the meta, or I guess experimentation in general. Like, if you've never really tried to like force buy or haven't gotten a lot of practice, it doesn't hurt to try, I guess. You have enough rounds that you can give up. If you're confident enough in your ability, you should be able to, either you win or you lose, and you utilize it as experimentation in a live match, which is sometimes something you can't always get in the scrim. But looks like they decided to just eco on up. A small buy coming out from Northern Kentucky. Let's see if they can access the B side, and at least they're defending it pretty well at the current moment. UNT holding it down.
Yeah, North Texas just with the 5 Deagles here. Divine trying to find something on Archmage, but not able to find it. As the rest of the terrace are looking to make their way towards the B site here, just gonna be contact with Deagles.
Vader spots Hoax with his butt out at the moment. Wasn't able to see him. Warpin goes down pretty quick too as well. Well, eco round turning it into a really nice one for UNT, as they have complete access to B side. A bomb is planted, and both their players are coming out from A over into the church, and let's see what they can do. One gun in the back. Some of the players
are low HP here. This is possible with their SMGs, but at this point now, Radical left in a 1v3, and he's facing the triangle of doom at this point. He's gonna get taken down by Irage. So 14-3, and yeah, the Deagle save working out for North Texas.
And if you're Northern Kentucky, you're back on eco. Good luck to them. I mean, so far one of their best rounds has been their pistol round, so I don't know, maybe keep that gun on them just to see what they could do from the long range. But nope, looks like they're gonna just force buy up. You see shotguns coming out, some semi-automatics. They're going for broke this round.
Very interesting. Hoax actually had money to buy an M4, but he decided not to. So I think they really should have at least had an M4 for somebody if they had the money for it. But it looks like Get Bet Nerds going straight in for the B push. He wants that 200 ADR, but he's not going to be able to find the kill here.
Yeah, tough shot getting right there. Fader's already in the back, ready to wrap around on Warpin. At the moment, Warpin's going to hide behind these little sandbags inside church. Can he keep himself alive? No, he cannot. 3 remaining players on the CT side. Make that 2. And now a long rotation remaining, and already Divine was waiting for one of them. Remaining player on the complete wrong side of the map. J-Linny in between both B and A. We'll see if he maybe gets some exits out of Banana at best, but yeah, this looks like a 15th round for UNT.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much over at this point. The thing is that, like, Mean Green was able to hit Banana so easily. Like, there's almost no resistance in that push, so...
Oh. And J-Linny still ends up going down, even after all of that.
Yeah.
Well, here we go, guys. Match point coming up right here. 15-13, UNT in the lead. And really, all the best that Northern Kentucky has is a couple cute little guns.
Yeah, I would actually like to see him maybe do a nade stack middle here, push from Banana, push from mid. I think that's the only shot of really winning this round. I don't think there's a way for them to win this round playing default with these guns.
Yeah. At this point, you really want to keep it in close range combat, a little bit of a rush if you can.
Yeah, it looks like they're just gonna make their way straight through the porch side here as IRH gonna take down Radical and J-Linny. It's gonna be so. Oh my god, he actually gets that kill from that range as as you guys gets another dink here, but Get Bet Nerds finding a 2K here, and it's all down to Warpin and Hoax to try to keep the dream alive.
Warpin taking the long route around with Hoax already going down, and he'll meet himself a Divine in mid, as he has had all game. UNT finally ends up taking the game at 16-3, 28, 5, and 7 out of Get Bent. Obvious MVP there as well in his performance. Wow. Fairly quick series, but I mean, overall, wow, just really well played. What was the final stat for the ADR for...
No, not quite. Only 168.
Only 168.
Only 168. It's not a record, but he was on path for it with that CT side that he was putting on. So, I mean, he had like 220 ADR after the end of the CT half. So, you know, a valiant attempt.
Yeah, just put him on the opposite side of aggression. Couldn't just set up and pick off nerds. But overall, still a good performance. Pretty good. 28 and 19 rounds. I'll take that any day of the week. I could use that carry in my everyday games if I could, as well. I wouldn't be down in silver in the current moment. So good performance from UNT. What's our takeaway? I mean, is this a team that probably could and should be in playoffs down the road, just seeing as how they perform, how they play, how constructed they look? Maybe not the top end, but at least somebody that you'll meet in the initial round that you might not want to overlook, right?
I think it depends if they can beat Georgia Tech. I think that's what it'll come down to. I don't think they can beat Montreal, but I think they might have a decent shot against Georgia Tech. If they can do that, then maybe they'll be able to sneak into playoffs.
Indeed. Their remaining schedule, as you mentioned, they have Montreal on their schedule, which should be played on the 17th on Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific, and then they also play Georgia Tech on the 26th of Monday, but we will see if we can get that game on broadcast as well. They have one match, I guess, against Northern Iowa. I see Panther Esports purple, but that is a team that's dropped out, so actually that could be their third win of the spring so far. Meanwhile, hopping over to the Northern Kentucky side, they have what should be Northern Iowa as well. That should be a win, so 2-3 over here on the spring side, and Montreal is their only remaining match. That's going to be a tough go for them as well to finish off the season. But at least for North Texas, they, with their final 2 matches, could find themselves in playoff contention if they at least probably get one win.
They have to beat Georgia Tech. Yeah, I think they have to beat Georgia Tech to do it. Yeah. It's for them. The playoff dream is still alive. It's just gonna be tough. But for Northern Kentucky, I think it's over for them pretty much. I don't think they can beat Montreal.
It's okay, guys. We have every team that doesn't make the playoffs, we send them to the Timo Cup in College League of Legends. You get relegated for a month playing College League of Legends. You get sent to the Timo Cup. Now, obviously, not every team is going to be able to, perform their heads off every single season. So props to Northern Kentucky for hanging it in there. They got one match remaining. UNT as well has 2 matches remaining. So good luck to them, and hopefully we'll see a couple of their games in the near future. Later tonight, we have VCU versus New York at 7 p.m. Pacific. We might both be back, potentially. So, mark your calendars, get a little bit of dinner, take a nice little break. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to Twitch, one of our main partners in crime across all of these years. Appreciate them. For supporting our content, helping build collegiate esports via the Twitch Student program. If you guys are not familiar with Twitch Student and are looking for help in terms of building your programs, your streaming side, whatever you really need, they have a lot of great resources, and you can hit them up at Twitch Student, or if you guys want a link for the lazy, it's down in our info tab that you guys can just click on links and follow them and say hello. We need help. We want to have an official program. We want to have more time to practice for CSGO matches. What can you do for us? And so they'll try to help out with all of their resources to make that happen. Anything else we got going on? Nothing much?
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we're winding down towards the end of the season here, so playoffs should be happening soon. Yeah.
Dog days of spring is just like it's like it's going by so fast, but we're like already so damn tired from so many weeks of it. We're just waiting for playoffs to start. I feel like at this point, just trying to get to the final week. So yeah, keep in mind we have this week, next week, and the following week after. The first week of March, or at least the first full week of March, is going to be an off week for playoff brackets to be generated. And then the week after that, we will begin actual coverage of matches for the playoffs. So keep an eye out on that. So through March and the middle of April, we'll have a lot of playoff coverage for you guys to check out. So be sure to follow this channel, and be sure to follow Mahone's Twitter. Don't worry about me. Follow that guy right there. He will be back more weeks than I will be for covering CSGO stuff. So are we going to have another Power Rankings too as well pretty soon?
I don't know. I think that's on Zach, so we'll have to see.
It's on Zach. What about highlights?
I don't know.
I'm just looking to see what else we could provide to the people, man. It's like electrolytes. It's what the plants need. It's like CS:GO. It's what the collegiate needs right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so keep an eye out on that as well. If you guys missed any of the matches, feel free to follow us on youtube.com/CStarLeague. We'll have VODs. We have different shows now with the quad, Ward Up, Smash Course, and as well various stuff like highlights. So you guys can check all of that over on YouTube as well. But until then, we'll see you in a couple hours for VCU versus New York, guys. Take it easy.